Lev Vygotsky was born in Western Russia in 1896. He is often called the Mozart of psychology because, like Mozart, he applied his diverse sense of genius at a young age. Vygotsky graduated with a law degree from Moscow University in 1917, and as someone that had always been fascinated by psychology, he then became a research fellow at the Psychological Institute in Moscow. Vygotsky died a young death of tuberculosis at the age of 38. 1917 was the same year that the Russian Revolution was beginning. The Russian people took to the streets, protesting against the corrupt leadership of Tsar Nicholas II and their failing economy. Russia's involvement in World War I had greatly disrupted the country's economy and the people's morale. The Russian Revolution ultimately resulted in Russia's dictatorship being replaced by communism. The ideals of communism greatly influenced Vygotsky's work, especially his theory of social development. At the time of his young death, many of his theories were incomplete and disregarded by the communist government. His ideas were kept alive by his students, and it wasn't until after the Cold War that his works were shared with the world. Social development theory states that social interaction is a key factor in cognitive development. Vygotsky asserted that the environment in which a human grows up and the social influences that are a part of it shape human development. Vygotsky's theory is often compared to another thinker of his time, Jean Piaget. Whereas Vygotsky felt that cognitive development was dependent on one's environment, Piaget believed that children constructed their own understanding of the world around them in very specific developmental stages. Two key components of Vygotsky's social development theory are the idea of the more knowledgeable other, or MKO, and the zone of proximal development, the ZPD. The MKO simply refers to a person who has a greater understanding or ability level than the learner in regards to a specific task, concept, or process. Vygotsky believed that many times a child's peer or a parent's child may be the MKO. It is all relative to the people and the concept. Connected to this idea of the MKO was Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. He described this zone as the area where a child or student is encountering skills that are too difficult to be mastered independently, but that can be done with guidance and encouragement from an MKO. Vygotsky believed that providing this guidance and encouragement in this zone enabled children to develop skills that they would eventually use independently, and that it ultimately led to the development of higher mental functions. Oh! This theory is very applicable to teaching and learning, especially as we have learned more about the importance of active student-centered learning. Teaching approaches such as reciprocal learning, differentiation, scaffolding, and cooperative learning are all applications of Vygotsky's social development theory.